Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Light Council series. I am so excited to have my dear friend and guest Gigi here today, who is the creator of the Blue Method, which I'm sure you'll hear all about in a few seconds here. If you don't know me, my name's Elizabeth Planson. I am an intuitive soul spiritual mentor, soul activator, spiritual business mentor, and healer. And so I am so excited to bring this work to you. It's so important for women. This episode is definitely geared more towards women, but if you are a male and want to listen as well, this could be really helpful for you if you have women in your life, just as a better way of understanding them throughout their cycles, the month, all the things. So, Gigi, welcome. I would love for you to just share a little bit about what you do and how you serve the world.
Yes, thank you so much. It is an absolute honor to be here with you. I admire the work that you do so much, and I feel super honored to be here and sharing this work that I am so passionate about because it is so needed.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so needed because it is something that has been stripped away from us, women, uterus holders, for a long time. So I'm Gigi. Hello. And I help women reconnect with their body through their menstrual cycle, through their womb wisdom, and through their natural cyclical rhythm. I do that by blending the science. I'm a registered nurse by trade. I love the sciencey bits and the details of it all, but I also blend the energetics, the spiritual, the frequency, the woo, because I am of the belief that they both have to coexist together, and they both do. So, yeah, very excited to be here.
Awesome. Oh, I love that so much. And, obviously, as a woman, like this work is so important. And as a mother of two daughters, like, I think that's a big piece of it, right? In a big something that you preach and talk about is like the education of the cycles, all these things, and releasing the taboo of it, and like not being able to talk to about it with our kids, or being embarrassed to talk about it with our kids, or even our spouses, right? Like it's all like a hush hush, like don't look at this, like don't be around when I'm doing this kind of thing. I'm still that way too, right? And this thought of it being gross or like all the things, like there's so much stigma. I think it comes with a woman's cycle. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And like I said, it's something that has been ingrained in us through society, through our parents, sometimes unknowingly, just the fact that it's not talked about, especially for us in our generation, right? Like
Yeah.
when I first got my period, I just got some pads and a tap on the butt and keep it moving. There was no real talk about it, no education. Even at school, I didn't really have these conversation with other girls that was going through it because everyone, it was just a hush hush thing. And
Mm-hmm.
even though sometimes it's not something that is expressly said to us, oh, this is something you should be ashamed of, it's kind of like nuanced ways, the way that we become shameful about it or talking about it and expressing and sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's so beautiful. So I would love for you to tell us more about this blue method, this that you created, like what it is and how it helps women, with their cycles and their life, really.
Yeah. So I created the Bloom method from my own personal journey and my own experience. The Bloom method is an acronym. Is that what we call those when each letter means
Mm-hmm.
something? So the B uh, stands for begin with awareness. So the awareness of your cycles, awareness of the different phases. So many women I have come across don't even realize that there are four different phases of their cycle. They think that
Mm-hmm.
it's just their period. Or my least favorite, I've had people ask me, "Oh, can I get pregnant all month long?" So that awareness, that education, the awareness of how your mood shifts, how your physical symptoms shift, like the way that you react to things shift. All of that, we begin with that. We begin with mapping out your own unique like way of how your rhythm works. Because there's a lot of categorizing, oh, the menstrual phase is this and that, and this phase. But we're all individual and we all are different. So understanding what actually is normal, regular for you is like the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Then we dive into listening to these rhythms because it's one thing to know, yeah, I get moody every 5 days before my period, but if we're not actually listening, then it's useless, right?
Yeah.
Like listening to how our body's reacting so that we can support our body through that process. The first O stands for um, optimizing your rituals, optimizing your rhythm, optimizing the phases that you're in. We're not wishing to be in the ovulatory phase. No one wishes to be in the menstrual phase. Let's be real. Let's be honest. You're not wishing to be in the ovulatory phase when you're in your menstrual phase, right? Because you're actually being open and using that phase for what it is. Each of the phases have a superpower. And we
Mm.
dive into this during this process of it, right? So being open to the embodiment piece, being open to exploring different ways of being. For instance, I just did a masterclass called Luteal Liberation, and inside of this masterclass, I guided the participant through a visualization of meeting their luteal self, the
Mm.
shadow self, that wise woman self within. So we have to be open to exploring new ways of being because we don't know what we don't know until we know it.
Can you share for the listeners that don't know which part of the cycle is the luteal phase?
Yes, absolutely. So the luteal phase is the phase after ovulation.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the most stable phase of our cycle, the longest, and for
Yeah.
some of us, the hardest.
Mm.
Because it is the phase of truth, right? So it usually takes about 2 weeks from the time you ovulate. That's why it's so important also to know when you're ovulating, because if not, you'll think that you're on an extended luteal phase when you haven't even ovulated yet.
Mm. Yeah.
Does that
Gotcha.
make sense? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then lastly, the last letter is for moving in alignment. So now we take all of that knowledge, all of that awareness, and we actually integrate it so that it's not something that you know. It's not knowledge anymore. It becomes wisdom. Knowledge
Mm.
lives in the head, wisdom lives in the body. So we move through our lives, and that might mean that you have to set up some systems, right? For instance, for me, one of the things that I do is I have a little magnet on my fridge. I talked about it, but that a friend makes that it tells you each of the different phases of your cycle. It brings awareness, it reminds me, it has all these things. And then I also like to wear different rings for different phases of my cycle to just be in that embodiment. So every time I'm moving, I look down, I'm like, oh, I'm in this phase. I'm gonna treat myself this way or that way. Um,
Is it
but
like different crystal rings that you're wearing?
so it's different. So I have like four different specific rings. So I'm
Yeah.
on the last day, FYI, of my menstrual. So I have this ring that I wear on my menstrual for my menstrual phase because it looks pretty gnarly, doesn't it? It's like blood.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and green is my
It
favorite color.
reminds me of a snake.
Yeah, it reminds. So anyway, I have one that's an owl for my luteal phase as wisdom, as wise
Mm.
woman, like one that has like a crown for my ovulatory phase and so forth and so forth. Just a simple reminder. That could look different for you. Maybe it could be a crystal or a thing that you put on your desk or
Yeah.
whatever, but just to keep you, reminding you, keep you aware, keep you in that presence.
Yeah.
But anyway, this method, the Bloom method, is my signature offer, my one-to-one, and we do biweekly calls. It's very personalized. It's very, where are we now? Where are we moving through in the Bloom methodology of it? And where do you need most support?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I think something that I would love to point out in like learning from you and like others that specialize in this work is like talking about the optimization, right? Because like especially as an entrepreneur, if you're an entrepreneur or even just like in anything in your life, like there are certain times in our phases that are really good for birthing new things or taking on new tasks or doing and more, right? And actually that like fire energy and then obviously, in my mind, the menstrual cycle is that time for rest and just being and not launching a new offer, right? Or like, which I've done before and like, oh my God, why did I do this? I'm so tired. Like, and it's like, I don't have the energy. Like, You know what I'm saying? So I'd love for you to like speak just a little bit more like to that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you asked that question because I've done it too. Like I've done it too. I've launched and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That is why we don't do that because even if we are so passionate about the topic that we're bringing forth to the world, we are very passionate about it inside, but like our biology is just not made to share about it outwardly, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So, one of the ways that I have been integrating this concept of the different energy, I have a couple of them, and I do this because people learn differently, right? So, I have one way where it's like the seasons of the year. The analogy that I use is just like the seasons change, the change inside of us. You notice in the wintertime, it's rainy, it's cold, it's snowy, you're bundled up, you're more inward. That's your inner winter, right? Your
Yeah.
menstrual phase.
Yeah.
Ovulatory, summertime, you're out, you're barbecuing, you're beaching, you're partying, you're like, you're magnetic, right? Like, that's one of the ways that I like to explain it. And another way is the different archetypal energy, the wise woman energy, the crone energy, the mother energy. And then also, I use the elemental fairy, right? So,
Mm.
water, we start with water, right? Water is our menstrual phase, our inner winter. Then we move into the wood, then fire, then earth, then metal, and metal being like the transition between the last piece of your luteal and then your menstrual phase leading back to water, which is a time of refinement, of just going deeper inside of you and what has
Yeah.
worked, what hasn't worked, preparing for the release that is the water season, again, the water element. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting how all of these things are connected, the season, the body, and like the element theory, if people aren't familiar with that, like each element has its own actions in itself too, right? Or like different energies to it, such as taking action, such as planning, or, coming up with the creation, right? Or just the resting and the harvesting. So it's like so interesting to be able to connect these all, and the whole idea behind your method really, and in being in control, not in control, but becoming aware of your cycles and your hormones and how to optimize your life according to them in every which way. And it doesn't even just have to be you're an entrepreneur, like as a mother, right? Maybe like, or as a woman, like how does that affect you as a mother, would you say, paying attention to these phases and how you interact with your family or your friends?
yeah. So that is a great question. So I am a homeschooling mom as well. So I'm an entrepreneur and I homeschool.
You do it
And I
all.
and I do not like sit down and do the things that I do during my other phases in my late luteal menstrual phase because I know that I am just not, my nervous system is not set to be chasing and like I just do it differently. It looks
Hmm.
differently. It might look like maybe spending extra time outside where we're free playing and I'm grounding myself so I could feel connected and calm and steady. Um, but a good thing is that this awareness has helped me to move with the rhythms of my kids much easier because I know where I am, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So, I'm first, like my energy first, like, okay, like I'm in my ovulatory phase. Let's do the field trips. Let's do the projects. Let's do the stuff that requires me a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like, and in my home, like I usually plan out my month ahead in my follicular phase, but I do like the budget, the refinement, this, that in my early luteal, because that's when my mind is primed to do these things more easily without
Mm.
force. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really just becoming aware of these different phases, like you're talking about, and when you can operate in different ways at your prime, so that like you can, yes, it does, I think, take a little bit of planning, right? But I think once you get in the swing of it, then it becomes just everyday life. It becomes normal, it becomes easy to figure out, be like, okay, well, I have to work on this. I'm gonna wait until this phase because I know I'm going to actually be able to get it done a lot quicker, more efficiently, effectively, with a lot less stress, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And then getting like your spouse on board is super important too, because um, it helps you to not feel alone. So I have this magnet on my fridge and it tells my husband how to support me. And it's so funny and interesting because so this is what happened the other day. I was making all these plans. I'm in my luteal phase. I was just like, making all these plans and excited, making decisions. He's like, oh no, babe, this is not the time to be making decisions. And when he said it, like I was like,
Oh
oh
my God.
shit, that's right. Because guess what? Then later on, I'm gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't have made that was like an emotional type of decision, like so having that support is very helpful because they reflect back and like if you have a spouse, they want to support you. They want
Mm-hmm.
you to make it easy to support you. So
Right. Instead of hiding in the bedroom during the phase, especially when you have two daughters and you end up starting to like my daughter and I are 1 week up like she's like right after me. So he's like, damn it. Like, eventually I'm sure we'll sync up, right? But like,
yeah.
yeah.
So getting them on board, getting everybody in my household knows what phases of my cycle I'm in because it's not a secret. My son
Yeah.
understands and knows it. I mean, he doesn't understand, but like he
Yeah.
knows like at his age level what he needs to know to understand that we're cyclical, that we're rhythmic, that certain things work better during certain times because that's just the biology of mommy.
Yeah, I love this so much. This taking away the taboo-ness of it, right? And like this making it just like a normal thing because it is a normal part of life. It's a beautiful part of life, right? And then also, I'm thinking that everyone listening, and I know for me, is going to want one of those magnets. So we're going to have to like share where to get those magnets, in the in the description because I
Okay.
feel like that's so helpful, right? Like to be able just to be like your husband knows like it's not even like this constant conversation, right? Like it's so great and then it just becomes easier for everyone in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
love
really
that.
does.
Oh gosh. So if you like had to give someone like a tip or a practice or a protocol that would help them most in, understanding their cycles or maybe like a practice or a protocol that you use during your most difficult phase of your cycle, like can you like provide something like that for the listeners?
Absolutely. And actually, I'll do it better. I'll do two because
Okay.
when I get questions like this, I'm like, I don't know. There's so much things. Like, what is really most important? Everything is important.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But the one thing that I think is most relevant is to know where you are. So in the mornings or when you have a chance or anything at all, just tune into yourself and ask yourself, like, what does my body need today? What do I need today? How's my energy? How's my mood? Do I have any symptoms that I should support, right? Like, do I have a raging headache and I keep pushing through? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, keeping track of that, I actually purchased myself a 5 year calendar, journal, whatever, where it has just three simple lines and it makes it super easy. Keep it next to my bed before I go to bed. I
Mm-hmm.
put the cycle day 12, feel, mood, energy, any physical, anything that I want to, like, a couple words, something to signify how my day went.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so helpful because now I'm not like guessing. We're rhythmic, right? So I'm not guessing every month, like, oh, I wonder what tomorrow is going to be like. I usually go back. I'm like, oh, usually during this time, my cravings are high. Okay, I'm going to make sure I have more magnesium. I'm going to make sure that my meals are more nutrient dense, things like that.
Yeah.
Super simple, super
Yeah.
simple, could change your life.
I think that's beautiful. I love that so much. And I think too, like, it's so important too to be aware of where you are and what your body needs, right? And also having that support system. And I know you are that for me. Like, I messaged you yesterday and I was like, everything is awful. Like, I'm so tired because we're kind of like in the same spot in our cycle. I think it was like day 4 or something for me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And I just want to burn everything into the ground. And you're like, just take a chill pill. Like, go chill and just be today. Go take a nap. And I was like, okay, I will. And I feel so much better today.
Right?
Like who hold no person. Like what happened?
Like, who was that? And that's another thing, right? That's
Yeah.
another thing. And this is something that I've heard from my clients over and over again. We're rhythmic, we're cyclical. When you rest, when your biology is asking you to rest, that is not weakness. That is not you being lazy. That is nothing to be shameful or guilty
Yeah.
about. Because guess what? When you give yourself that, you come back stronger, you rise higher. So
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't listen to your body and you didn't rest, who knows what today would have brought? You were like, oh my God, I'm so tired times two now.
Yeah, I think that's so true. And that's also too like totally unrelated, but like, this is a topic for another day is understanding human design, which we'll be having on the show eventually, right? Like I'm a manifester, and so I get high energy spurts, right? And then we need that rest. We need the rest. And even with this, right? But understanding when your body is asking you to rest and you allow it to rest, it's okay. It, like you said, I love that you said that. It doesn't make you lazy. It doesn't make you, just like a bad person or whatever. It's your body literally needs it. And then you're able to come back stronger and actually get more stuff done rather than forcing through, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's so great. I would love to ask you if you had like one final piece of wisdom or anything you would like to share with the listeners, the audience about your work and how they can help implement it and how important it is, for everybody. I would love you to share that.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. So, this is work that I'm very super passionate about because it literally changed my life. It changed my life because I was someone who suffered from a lot of mental health because
Mm,
of past childhood traumas that I didn't know how to process. And I feel like this work has opened up the door for me to heal through a lot of things, to understand, to comprehend my own way of being. And I just want to say, like, our periods, our cycles are a superpower. Once we tap in, it's like a tool that God gave us that
yeah.
is like already set with all the things, the instructions that you need. It's a blueprint, a manual. Why are we being like, no, thank you, I don't need it?
Mm-hmm. No, thank you. I'll just suffer by myself.
Yeah, so learn the things and become aware of the things and get curious.
Mm-hmm.
Get
Yeah.
curious.
Awesome. I love it so much. Thank you so much, Gigi. Where can people find you? Like, what is the best way to connect with you? I know people can work with you in your Blue Method, in your one-on-one packages, and also on your you have master classes, and you also have like a Telegram channel too, right?
I do have a Telegram channel and I also have a Facebook community. I'm everywhere. Come find me at glowflow.withgigi. I do a lot of challenges and just ways to help you to tap into that innate wisdom that we already, because you know what? I feel like the more people and the more women understand and get access to this work, the better the ripple effect. And it's going to change the weaving of the world for us, for our daughters' daughters, right? Like
Yeah.
we're going to have like our great great granddaughters having regular conversations. Like this is normal. We got this.
Yeah, yeah. I will definitely share all of your links in the description. But something else I want to point out really quickly too is Gigi is a fellow Kundalini yoga practitioner. And so it's so beautiful with our work is because we all utilize this beautiful practice in different ways. And so I know you incorporate practices and Kundalini practices to help with these things, the hormones and regulating and cycles and everything like that. So that I just wanted to point that out because like there's so many different techniques that you use to help with these people and what resonates with them, right? And what
Yeah,
helps them through. Like I use Kundalini yoga for a lot of business things and manifestation with my clients. So it's just so beautiful how we use it in such a different way, but it's still just as powerful.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for being here today. Again, check out Gigi, her channel, her Facebook group, and then you can find all of her links below in the description. And we will see you next time on the Light Council series. Bye, everyone.